Let's look at neurons and synapses. So nervous system is made up of millions of nerve cells, also known as the neurons. The basic structure of neuron consists of cell body, axon, dendrite, myelin sheath, a node of Ranvier, and a synaptic knob. So the basic structure here has got 6, which we are going to look into the next slide, figure 12.7. So there are 3 types of neurons, namely the sensory neurons, relay neurons, and also motor neurons. Okay, so this is the basic structures and also functions of parts of a neuron. So let's look at, first and foremost, this structure here known as the cell body. So in a cell body, there's a nucleus with many cytoplasmic projections, which we call it as the dendrite. So dendrite is like the antenna. They are the short branches of the cell body, which functions to receive nerve impulse from other neurons or from external environment, and they are going to send them to the cell body. Okay, so the arrow goes like this. Okay, so in a cell body, the function is that it integrates signals, and coordinates the metabolic activities. Okay, how about this? Like the projection of the cytoplasm, that's called the axon, which is the elongated branch of the cell body that carries impulses out of the cell body to other neurons or effectors. Okay, so myelin sheath is an insulating membrane that coats the axon. So this is the coat of the elongated branch, the axon. So myelin sheath has got these 3 functions, which they are to protect the neurons from injury as a means of protection, insulator for electrical impulses as it moves along the axon from the cell body. Okay, notice the arrow here. This shows the direction of the flow of impulse. Also, this myelin sheath provides nutrients to the axons. Okay, coming down from here, we have this gap. This is called the node of Ranvier, which certain neurons have parts which are not insulated, so they are not covered by this myelin sheath. So there's regular gaps along the axon. You see these, there are regular gaps along it. So this gap is known as the node of Ranvier, which helps to accelerate the flow of the nerve impulse along the nerve impulse, to accelerate the flow so that it can jump. So as the nerve impulse passes along this axon, they are able to jump from one node to the other node. Okay, so moving on, down here is this knob known as the synaptic knob, which is like a swelling at the end of the axon branch. Okay, so this is the axon branch. So at the end here, there's like a knob over there. It's like a small swelling. This is meant to send signals to the muscle cells, the gland cells, or to the adjacent neuron dendrites. So in other words, they're like connecting it to the effector. Okay, so again, this is enhancement. Neurons, what is this? What is neuron? It's the cell that carry information through the nervous system. Nerve impulse refers to the message that the neuron carries, which is in the form of electrical signal. Axon. Okay, now let's look at this. Again, neuron has large cell body. In the cell body has got nucleus. So cell body has thread-like extension known as the dendrites, which carries impulse towards the cell body. So if you're asked to label, you must be able to label it correctly, the direction of the impulses. So it is from the dendrites to the cell body. So there is this extension called the axon, which is the long fiber from the cell body, branches out at the tip to form axon terminals. So you get to see these are the terminal, these are the ends already with the end of the tip like a knob. So you call it as the synaptic knobs, the small swelling. So axons is surrounded by, okay, look at this axon. It has got this sheath, this surround, this protective layer known as the myelin sheath, okay, which has got many gaps. And the gaps here, you see the gaps here, are known as the nodes of Renvier, which function to increase the speed of travels of impulse, because impulse will be able to jump from one node to the next as it moves across or move along the axon.